Hi Scorpio, thanks for tuning in. This is a spiritual horoscope, so please take what resonates and release the rest. We'll get started with some runes, and then to get more details, we'll clarify with some cards. So let's jump in. What does Scorpio need to know? What does the universe want to bring in for Scorpio? So for your current energy, you've got Ingus, and Ingus represents fertility. And the word kind of throws you off, right? Because immediately you think of babies. But in this case, I want to say it's more related to a project that you're taking on. What else can we clarify? Let's take a look at the past. What does Scorpio need to know? You've got Kanas, and this represents an opening. So this is where this project that you're working on right now, there is... Actually, it's not even a project. What the word that came in was a hobby. So it's almost like you've invested in a new hobby, actually. And that's where it's almost like you've had time. I know with COVID and people are more at home. So you've had the time to look into this hobby and what you're wanting to do. And now you're ready to start it. That's what I'm picking up. What else does Scorpio need to know? So for your influences, you've got... This is the blank rune. So with this hobby that you have, you really get to set the tone on what you want to do, what direction you want to go in, because it feels like you've only just scratched the surface. Like you're at the tip of the iceberg, and there's so much that you can dive into, so much that... like homework, and it's not necessarily homework, but more things to look into, more things to learn. And as you sink your teeth into this new hobby, you'll really find out how much you really actually enjoy this, because it's almost actually that you were unsure about, should I really do this, does it make sense? And that's where the universe is saying yes, like it is the time you are going to really enjoy this. What else can we clarify? You've got Urus. So Urus represents perseverance, and we talked about like you've just started, you're at the tip of the iceberg, and there's so much to learn, and this is where the perseverance will come in. And it's almost as you think you've mastered one thing, oh look, there's something else and something else, but that's all part of the process and part of the learning. And it feels like by the end of it, you'll really master and be like ace it. What else can we do? What's the future looking like for Scorpio? So you've got Yura, and Yura represents like karma. So in this case, how I want to say it is, through this new hobby, you're going to meet new people, you're going to have new opportunities come in, and this is where I feel like there's a lot of happiness as a result of that. And that's where the karma comes in terms of all that happiness that you're putting out comes back to you, and you really get to truly enjoy this hobby. So let's clarify with a couple more runes. What can we get for Scorpio? So you've got Ingus again. So you are on the right track with this hobby. Don't doubt yourself, because it does seem intimidating at first, but just slowly work at it. No one becomes a master of something overnight, but this is where if you slowly work at it, do the homework and investigate and figure things out. The word that came in is tinker. So the more you tinker with something, the more you play around with it, that's where you learn and really get to master it in the end. What else can we learn for Scorpio? You've got Birkenau, which represents growth. So we talked about the hobby and the skills, how they will grow. You will increase your knowledge about this hobby, and you're really, the words that just came in, you're really going to shine. You're really going to be like the master of your craft, of this element. Wunyo represents, this is Gabo actually, and this represents partnerships and relationships. So it feels through this new hobby, you're going to meet new people, and we talked about karma, the energy you put out, comes back to you. And what I want to say here too, along those lines, is you want to always give the positive, because if people talk, you want them to talk positively about you and about your situation, because energy moves. So if someone's only talking, if you're only talking positive, then they're only talking about positive about you. So all that energy comes back, and that's where the karma comes in. So, and it's almost like let in the people that think the same way as you, that are on the same wavelength on how they're looking at this hobby, because I feel there's like the extremes, then there's the people that do it for fun, and those just beginning. So you're still at the beginning stage, and it feels like you'll do this for fun. You're going to strike the balance. You're going to, like I said earlier, sink your teeth into it and really enjoy it, but you're not going to be that next level extreme. So that's where you need to find those people that are on the same wavelength as you as to what this hobby is. And you've got Langus, which represents going with the flow. So we talked about people and all that kind of stuff, and in terms of learning so much, and that's where going with the flow is going to get you here to all that happiness, and you're really going to have fun with it. But don't get discouraged around when something seems really daunting, like, oh crap, I didn't get this. And maybe you have to try it several times before you get it, but that's all part of the process. Let's go to some cards now. What does Scorpio need to know? Oh, so you've got trust. So trusting in this case, actually what I'm being pulled towards is the water. So Langus represents going with the flow. And when you think of that, the energy that you want is really like a perfect day on a river, the beautiful sunny sky, and you're going with the flow. You're going with the current. And that's where this water is really peaceful. I know there's the moon, it's not the sun, but you really need to go with the flow and trust that things will come in. You'll master that skill all in good time. But don't get discouraged, because it's part of the process. No one becomes a master at anything overnight. Release. So that's where we said, like, you might have to do things multiple times, but release any frustration that comes with it. Have fun. What else can we clarify? Oh, okay. So you've got several cards here. So you've got blessings, adventures, and patience. So the blessing is with COVID, it was a blessing that you had more time to look into it and actually start this hobby, because I feel as if you've been looking at it from afar for a while. You'd be like, oh, it would be cool to do, but you just never did it. And now you actually went for it. And the patience is learning to master this hobby, this craft that you're working on. It will come, but you need to let go. Instead of carrying any frustration, let go, have fun with it, be patient with yourself, and things will all come in. And the adventures is more the adventure that you're undertaking with this new hobby, committing to, okay, I'm going to try this out. You still need to be patient and persevere through the little hiccups that will come. And I feel like it's more like around woodworking, if that makes sense. So if it is woodworking for somebody, please be safe. Please wear the right equipment, wear the eyeglasses, and look at the user manuals before you start anything. I know it's really dry reading, I get it, but do it, because it almost feels like there's something in there in the manual that is like, oh yeah, that's really good to know. I'm glad I looked at this. So that's how, if it is woodworking or anything like very physical like that, please make sure to read the manuals. All right, cool. This was really interesting. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.